case came in the wheelchair. It was a 12-year-old kid. It was a suicide case. 12-year-old girl attempting a suicide, and by that time when we saw, she was dead. We declared dead. That's how the mental health is. Because if you store everything with mind, if you store everything with information which you do not have any experience or living reality, if you just store that thing burdens you so much, and there is no way that you live. Suicide is just a natural thing. We have to address mental health, very important. That's what the Sadhguru's vision is right now, where he is launching the conscious planet.
Something in my DNA changed. Something that I inherited from my father changed within 3 to 4 months of practicing Shambhavi.
The initiation where you deal with the energy, Kriya, or whatever, where you internalize the thing, where the initiation parts are there, that thing has a potential to change the genetics. Yoga itself is a tremendous science and it has to be explored. People have to experience life in its totality so that their perspective of tears should change.
Namaskaram everyone, this is Neha and welcome to another interesting episode of Simplified Talks with Neha. Doctors, often described as modern day healers and true heroes in the healthcare domain because of their commitment and tireless effort to preserving life. While spirituality has always been a timeless wisdom, its integration into the medical science has gained recognition and acceptance in recent times. So if you are intrigued by the profound impact spirituality can have on a doctor's perspective, you are in for an entertaining and enlightening experience. Our guest today is a doctor who has done his MD into pulmonary medicine and is pursuing his super specialization in cardiology. And he is a hardcore Isha meditator. Please welcome Sreekar Anna. Namaskaram Anna.
Namaskaram Akka.
How are you?
I'm blissed out. Isha first, doctor next.
Okay, so we'll start with your journey. We want to know about your childhood first. What kind of a kid you were and what were the challenges that you faced?
Namaskaram everyone. I'm so blessed and I feel this is the opportunity to share my things so that each and every individual, it just makes even a small impact in their life. It would be more happy for me. So my journey, I was the only kid in my family and I was the only kid from my parents, no siblings, none. So everyone thinks a single child is so pampered, but not so. My mom used to be so harsh on me and she wants me to be more disciplined. But my father is like so relaxed and calm. See, one person is like that, so other person will be. That's how I was grown. Childhood was so beautiful for me. No obstacles, nothing. I used to be so naughty, and every day I go out, I come back home with a scar.
Oh.
So many scars on my face.
Yeah.
I was that naughty. So if I just go, I just want to know something, I just want to explore what's that. I just keep on, I'm so mischievous, and something I'll just break in my body and I'll come home. Whenever I come home, my mom checks, where is the scar today? That's how mischievous I was. Because I'm so interested with life. I'm so interested with everything what's happening. I just want to know. That was my childhood and that's how I was brought up. To be frank, doctors are all studious, but I'm not at all a studious guy. I was never a studious guy and I was the most irresponsible kid that any person knows. Because I was more into music. I learned violin since childhood. I just wanted to be a musician since childhood. But situations and social pressures, they just force me to study and they just want me to pursue into the medicine, not cardiology. I don't even know what's cardiology back then. So, and I was the first doctor in my family.
Okay.
And I was not at all studious. So I just don't know that doing medicine is an uphill task. I just don't know, but I just jump to it, thinking like I can save lives. I mean, that was my nature since childhood. I was like, I just want to save I'll be happy when others are people around me are happy.
Okay.
Maybe that was the intention which unknowingly or unconsciously made me pursue medicine in my life. Even though in 10th I scored 100 in maths, many people perspective is like, if you score more in maths, you'll go engineer. If you score more in biology, go into medicine, right? But I don't know why I just took this part. I didn't have any option as such. So I was like, my parents were like, you do whatever you want.
Okay.
I didn't have any interest as such, but unconsciously, or maybe that nature of my life pushed me towards to take medicine. But during intermediate, I'm not able to understand what they're saying. I'm not able to understand what professors are saying. I mean, I'm not understanding what they were saying. So we'll be writing MBBS NEET exam, right? So MSET, it was back then MSET. So as I was not understanding these things, I got addicted to gaming actually.
Okay.
So this is an interesting part. As I was not understanding anything, if you're not understanding anything, if you're not getting anything, obviously you go to side things which the children get attracted to.
Yes.
My attracted things was gaming actually. And if I love something, I give my life to it. That's how my nature was. As I was not into the studies part, I came into medicine and gaming part, and the schedule of my gaming is like, morning I go from home at morning 8 o'clock and I sit till 8 o'clock in the evening only in the gaming center, 12 hours at a stretch.
Without food?
No, food will be coming into the gaming center on that table only. I'll not be even moving my ass. I'll just be sitting, because even the gaming is a tremendous science, you know. It's not a joke actually. You need to apply your brain so hard and approach the strategies. I mean, that's another science. Even that is the most beautiful thing. But I got addicted to it. Because 6 months during the last preparation of my MSET exam, I didn't even go to college. I didn't even attend a single class because I was not able to understand anything. So my father and parents, they usually ask, right, how is everything going and how are your studies going? I used to say, yeah, everything is perfect. I'm scoring very good marks. I was just saying all those things. I just wanted to postpone, like, tomorrow we'll go to college. Like, I just postponed for 6 months at a stretch. I was just, I didn't want to lose that high which the gaming was giving me, and at the same time I didn't want to trouble my parents, but I felt like, yeah, tomorrow. I just pushed it for 6 months. After 6 months, what happened was, it was a regular day. After finished my gaming, I came home, and my dad asked me how is everything, how everything is going on. I just said like, yeah, everything is fine, Dad. I said, yeah, definitely, acha ho raha hai. I said all those things, and he just said only one thing: today I came to your college, Nana, your name is not there in the register yet. That's all. He didn't say anything. He didn't even scolded me. He didn't even say a thing. The conversation was over at that time. I felt like my head was
chopped off.
I just did a terrible thing in my life, and they're not even scolding me. I have to do something. Not for myself, for my dad. I just took a commitment that at least now I am having 6 months more for the exam. I don't know if I'll crack the seat or not. I just have to give my best, and I prepared from. I started backing up myself that I just have to dedicate this 6 months for my dad. I don't know if I get it or not, but I studied so hard for that, only for my dad. So even till now, my mom doesn't know this thing because she'll kill me.
Now she'll know.
6 months, boom.
Cracked
the exam, and I just got seat into medicine, and I dedicate that thing to my father, and I'm so happy that I made my father proud. Okay. That was how I think that was incident in my life which made me which turned me from an irresponsible to a responsible kid.
Okay.
At least in towards life, at least towards something in my life, I was responsible, I was disciplined. Till then I was wandering kid.
So at this point of time, when you said that you did it for your father,
yeah.
So did you feel bad about certain things, like, you know, they are putting finances into it, or like, you know, like they are doing so much for me to get a seat into medical thing?
I mean, I knew that they're investing their life into it, but I was so addicted to that. Those things were washing out of my brain. I just wanted to do which I love the most.
After you cracked the exam, and for 6 months you prepared, you said.
Yeah.
So in this 6 months you did not go for gaming?
No. Never, not even once.
Not even once.
Not even once. I mean, that's how my father, the incident impacted me.
Okay, that's really inspiring. So you got a seat in medicine.
Yeah. And even then I was not meditative type or meditation kind. I was not like, I mean, I'm not into these things. Once we start entering medicine and MBBS, all the information starts building up in your mind, and the qualities of doctor starts building in you slowly.
What is the quality of a doctor?
Quality of a doctor is like, they all want things to be to make sense. They want everything to be logical, because that's how they get trained too. Because if you want to treat something, just have to know each and every part of it, so that you can treat it very perfectly and precisely. It's like even engineer also. If you are doing computers and all, if you want to make a code, everything has to be mathematically perfect, right? Even a small bug, everything gets crashed. Even the human science is also completely a logical thing. You cannot miss even a single thing. So doctor's perspective is like, to treat a person, they just have to know everything what's going on in your body. So that's how, I mean, they get so logical in their life, and they'll forget everything what's magic.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll just be so logical. That's how they get trained since first year MBBS, MD, DM, whatever, DRNV, whatever it is. So it's like they want to be everything to be perfect, and they want everything to make sense.
Okay.
And they want an evidence based. That's how the doctors work. That's how, I mean, if I want to prescribe a medicine, it has to be a guideline based.
Okay.
Because it's like the guidelines come from a lot of research and a lot of data, right? So only if it is showing a good benefit or good results, only then we take it as a guidelines and we start using practically.
When you start thinking as a doctor, did any of the rituals or the things that we follow culturally start making any less sense to you?
Even I have this kind of mentality, like people doing abhishekam to the lingam. I also felt like, so much milk is going waste. If you give that thing to a beggar, he might fill his stomach. Even I was having that perspective, because it doesn't make any sense to me back then. I felt like they are just wasting their money. I don't know. I was neutral. I was kind of a personality, like I was not not against anything or not for anything. I was just neutral. That's their life. This is my life. So that's how I was.
Okay. So then how did the medical study?
Yeah, MBBS went fine. Everything went so beautifully. It was the teenage, right? So happily enjoying college. But everything was smooth. Everything was fine. And I entered into MD pulmonary medicine, and me getting into the meditation part is what you are expecting, right? Yeah, I'm coming to that. That part happened during when I was pursuing my MD pulmonary medicine second year. It was COVID time. Me being a pulmonologist, I couldn't deny working for COVID and COVID patients. And my family was so worried about my life being the only child. They were insisting me that no, it's okay, you need not go to hospital, just stay in the home. Because that was a new virus, and doctors couldn't even figure out what's going on, and the treatment protocols were not established. At that time, there was no proper guidelines, and people were dying like a pack of cards. Even doctors were dying. They were not understanding anything, and my parents were like, no, don't get into that trouble. I was like, no, I will jump into it, because that's what I was trained for. That's how, I felt like it was a responsibility for me, because being a doctor, you avoiding your job is a crime against humanity, and that was the time where people needed me the most. So you may or may not be there for persons at times when they don't need you, but when they really need you, just have to give yourself and your life to it, no matter if it costs your life. That's how my perspective was.
Okay.
And I jumped, and I think the second itself I got COVID.
How was your experience treating the corona patients?
I saw life treating COVID patients, because I saw people dying in front of me. I saw people
Getting
knowing life.
Okay.
I saw them. I saw that part. I mean, at that time I was not able to understand, but right now when I look back, all the years till that deathbed, they were a completely different person. Once they start seeing death, once they start experiencing death, the perspective completely changes. All the ego, jealousy, everything comes out, and they start feeling so bad, and they start realizing what have I done till now in my life. And it just impacted me so badly. And I learned a lot. I learned life while treating COVID patients, because I've seen young 20s to 30s, 40, 50, 60, 70, everyone. I was like, my phone was banging like anything. You won't even believe me. Daily 200, 250 calls. Only any close of my friends know how hard I was struggling all during the COVID time. But I was happy, because I could save lives, and I was happy. But even then I was not into meditation. I was like, yeah, the science is working. Yeah, the medicine is working. This is the perfect thing.
Okay.
That was my perspective.
Did it change your perspective towards death at that point of time?
Yeah, because seeing them, I felt like, death. I couldn't understanding anything, but I felt like once death comes, people will change. I'm not having any information. I didn't get anything as such, but I was still in that perspective that you're saving a life. You're great. You're saving. Subconsciously the pride was building up. You don't know that, but deep inside every doctor has that. That's what ego is.
Yeah.
They just they are so high on themselves that they'll not let anything. That's how the doctors are. Most of the doctors, not again there, but that's how we are. Yoga or meditation helps mentally, or being peace to someone's life, or some health benefits like weight reduction or something like that. That was my perspective towards yoga, nothing more. During this COVID times and all, after first wave was finished, now the real part comes. Yeah.
So by this time you didn't know anything about Sadhguru?
No, nothing. Okay. Nothing, zero. I was just happy in my profession, wonderfully doing, beautiful friends, beautiful family, no restrictions. Everything was fine. Everything was so beautiful.
How did you handle your COVID?
Coming to the COVID part, it's like a regular infection, regular flu. Once the first day I got COVID, first 3-4 days I just fell on the bed. I couldn't even move my arm and on the lower limbs, the leg. It was so painful. I felt like I'm gonna die. that was my feeling. But slowly I started recovering.
Okay.
By after that I realized that this is a flu. Once you get COVID, once you get any infection, once you get like regular common cold, the immunity builds up. So if you get another virus also, the body is ready to fight against that. So that is also a science, right, which we learn. So I felt like once I got COVID, my immunity is so good and I can deal any COVID patient. That's how my thinking was. So once I recovered, I felt like now I can jump into it fully. No, COVID cannot harm me is what my thinking was. I was vaccinated, to be frank. That's what natural immunity. You build your immunity naturally by getting infected to virus. The vaccine is that we artificially inject a virulent particle so that your immunity gets stimulated and your immunity is ready for the next virus.
What do you think? Why were the patients dying? Because they were scared of it? Was that the reason?
No, this is the most important thing people must know. To be frank, COVID is not the killer. Human is the killer. Yeah, I'll tell you why. The same COVID, 10 identical persons, 5 are alive, 5 are dead. The same COVID. COVID is not changing, only humans are changing, right? See, if a COVID enters in your body, what causes death? First thing is their immunity. their underlying comorbid conditions, like their physical fitness, like any diabetes or underlying kidney disease or immunocompromised thing, or if the patient, their physical body is so weak, like old age, or people having so many things since long term, like having hypertension or diabetes or kidney disease or anything. These people were dying like just 2 days, 3 days, they were just collapsing because the body was not, it was the new virus, and the body was not able to handle that thing, and already the body is damaged, and this new thing the body couldn't handle. That was one thing. And the second thing is, you also heard young people dying even without comorbids. Me seeing young people dying without any comorbid condition, with having a healthy body. What I have seen is they having anxiety, mental issues. Mental issues, they were dying. They were so afraid of the COVID. They don't know anything about COVID, but they might have heard that COVID was killing. That fear is killing them, because I'll explain the science behind it. In COVID, the mortality is because of inflammation. Inflammation is like any reaction to a stimulus. It's like a virus has come in your body, and you have to create some reaction to that. It's like a bug has come in your body. If you fire a pistol, a bullet, the virus dies. This type A personality, anxiety people, the people fear, the inflammation is so high. If a virus comes, they are releasing an atom bomb. So the virus dies, but at the cost of collateral damage, your body also dies. Overreacting to a simple stimulus. That's what I was telling. The problem is human mind and human body. That was that was the part which was killing the persons, not COVID. COVID is a simple virus. Even now the COVID was the same. Only the people mentality and people. If you see athletes or people who are into physical fitness, if they are calm and if they don't have any, if they have a calm mind, the virus was not able to do anything. The virus was simply living there. They get some flu-like symptoms and they just come down. They just get treated. They just get relieved within 7 days. So I think even now people don't know that. The problem is with humans, not with the virus. The problem is with your body and your mind. How the inability to maintain your physical body and your mind was the one which killed that person, not the virus.
That was interesting.
Another interesting part about COVID is like all the inflammation part is like you are overfiring and overreacting, and you are creating an excessive inflammation, right? The treatment is, what we are giving is steroids that reduce inflammation in your body so dramatically and drastically. That's how the steroids are working. The steroids were working a lot in COVID. And there are other massive immunosuppressant things like tocilizumab, or the drugs with toci, like 1.2 lakh injections, which you have heard. What they do exactly is they do not kill the virus. They reduce your inflammation in your body. That's how you get treated from COVID.
During COVID time, Sadhguru gave us a kriya which is called Simha Kriya. What was your experience with that? Did it work for COVID patients?
I cannot say whether it has worked for me or not, because till then, even now, I cannot say it has worked for me or not, because as Sadhguru said, I was not having any opinion on Sadhguru. He was doing good things for the people, and he also gave that, and I practiced myself Simha Kriya at that time when I was with COVID. But the thing which I have seen in myself was it has improved my lung capacity. That was the thing which I could see while practicing Simha Kriya. The ability to hold my breath, and me getting little immune to infections, and I was not getting frequent cold. That was the thing which I saw in myself, and I felt like Simha Kriya is helping me. But even then my perspective was like, as I got COVID early, the immunity which has built, which was ready in me, that is helping me. Maybe this was helping me equally, but I didn't know. Even now I cannot say that it is helping, but I cannot say that that's the whole and soul of the thing which helped me. It definitely worked. It's like maybe 60-70% of the part which has worked in me. And that, but I'm telling you, right now I can correlate all those things, but right then when I was dealing, I felt like, no, this is the sign, this is how it works, this is the part which which helped you. The first wave was finished, and second wave, the huge thing has happened. Simultaneously, the other part of my life was like, I haven't entered into Isha yet. Till then, I was not into Sadhguru things and all. And I had a very beautiful love story actually in my life. It's a painful story, but that changed me. That thing really got me in my life. Till now, I was feeling like I was a successful person, no backlogs in my life. I was just ramping my life without any interruptions. I felt like I'm doing so great. I was not having anything. I mean, I was in love with a girl. It was the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me. Okay. I'm telling you, she's so nice, and I just felt like I wanted to give myself to her, because I felt like she's the one I got in my life, and no matter what, I should not leave this. With that perspective, I entered into that love actually. Till now I was feeling like I was successful, right? Because I am 100%, till then cracking things and treating patients. But I'm telling you, the thing which I gave myself in that love, that was the ultimate thing. That was the thing which I gave myself completely into it. Maybe that's the reason which pulled me into Isha. All these things I thought I was giving completely, but I was not giving completely. I think I might be giving 90% or 94% of myself. Even in gaming part also, which I love the most, I think I was not giving completely. The love part, that the thing which I gave my 100% into it. The whole life, soul, body, mind, emotions, energy, everything I just put into it. Emotions being sweet is the most beautiful thing you can have ever in your life. And I didn't want to miss that, because that was giving the most, and I gave myself into it, and I was not left in that. It was completely her in my life. The which I called myself was completely gone, and she was filling in my body, mind, emotion. She was filling in my thing, the whole thing. She was there. And after 1 year or 1.5 years, things were not working. I mean, we understood that the things were not working together, were not working well, and that broke my heart. Because I gave myself completely into that, right? I felt that it has to be working, because I'm giving completely. And finally it was not working, and my heart was completely broken. I was like shattered, and I know the pain which I went through. That part, I mean, every person might have known that, but within myself, my experience was like I just got blank totally. And simultaneously I was working in the COVID, because I had to deal the second wave, right? I was giving my thing in the COVID, but deep within myself, that pain was killing me. And till then I was not believing any God, or till then I was not believing any Sadhguru or any Guru. I don't know anything about, I mean, to think, I should know something, right? There has to be some memory to think. I don't have any memory in myself till then. And when this thing happened, it was, I was doing night duty in KIMS Kondapur that night in ICU. I finished my night ICU rounds. I came into my room. It was a pitch dark. I was in COVID scrubs and all. I just removed my scrubs, and the thing was keeping running in my mind. Why is this thing happening? Why is this? And I felt, I mean, I just cried so badly, and the ignorance tore me apart, and the pain came out of that in such a way that I asked myself, what's happening to me? Till 26 years, I didn't harm a single ant or any person in my life. I didn't do anything knowingly. But why is this thing happened? Even though giving your total and full self into this thing, why it has not worked out? I was telling you, right? This was the girl where I gave my 100%, and she was completely filling me that time. When this thing happened, she just left completely. So I was empty at that time. So that emptiness was filled by my Guru, I guess. and nothing experience as such. I didn't know all these things. Now when I'm thinking retrospectively, I'm understanding that all the puzzles are filling in place. After that night, within a week, I started doing yogasanas actually. Why I was doing yogasana, I'll tell you. Basically, during that COVID second wave, the load was extremely, the load just amplified to an exponential range, right? First wave itself we were, oh my god. When second wave came, it was like, there was no time to say, oh my god.
Okay.
There was a time where there is no bed to me also. To me, or people, we arranged beds on the floor. We were just holding salines on hands with nurses, attenders. That's how the burden of the disease was. And at that time, my aunt, she was, her name is Sreekar, my mom's sister. She was into Isha since 2 years or 3 years. She told me that why don't you do yogasanas? Like I was overweight back then. I was around 95, 97, like that. I was so obese, and because I don't have any, doctors don't have any physical activity, right? They just sit and they just treat and they go. So my aunt told me, and till then I was also having that. I also had this in understanding that obesity is also a risk factor for COVID. Yeah, I mean the disease progress faster in obese people. Yeah, that's it. That's the truth, because in obese the inflammation is very high. So I just had this notion in my mind that I have to reduce my weight no matter what. So my aunt told me that why don't you do yogasanas? At least it will reduce your weight. That was the intention, but the real thing happened that night in my room. Maybe the things were working out like this, and after a week, within all this thing happened within a week. I enrolled into yogasanas. My Hatha Yoga teacher was Ravichandra Anna, and he's a Hatha Yoga teacher, and he taught me yogasanas. And my experience was yogasana was not boom. I just went into yogasana session, and I did my 5-day yogasanas was there, and it was so beautiful. And I'm telling you, I mean, it was so beautiful, the ambience, the person, and he's not even touching us, and he's just sitting there and he's just delivering. I was not able to bend my body because I was obese, and I finished my course after 5 days. The last day, Anna told that if you do these practices regularly, and if you just close your eyes and do your yogasana, even if someone enters your room from outside, you will know. I was like, huh? So completely illogical. How can this thing happen? But I was intrigued by that word, by that sentence. After I finished my yogasana, I went and I asked Anna, what you told till now was so nice and logical. Last day you said this thing, no? Does this thing really work, or you just told it casually? I said, Anna didn't tell anything. Anna, you do your practices regularly for mandala or 40 days or 42 days. You will only know, bolke he told. So I gave a commitment myself that I have to do yogasana for a mandala regularly without any break. With that commitment, I did yogasanas. It was so difficult, bending and directly entering into yogasana with that 97 kg person body weight is not a small thing. Even doing small bending itself gives you a lot of pain, because you will be so obese and the tendons and the muscles will just stretch so badly, and the pain is unbearable. I felt like, what is this? It's killing me. I should give up. But still, I gave that commitment. Doctors are so stubborn. They will not give up so easily.
Okay.
So I just felt, no, you took that commitment, right? Do it. So I was doing every day, 42 days. I think 36th day or 37th day. After 37th day, I finished my yogasana, I finished my hospital, and I just came, I was sitting on my bed and I was just seeing Sadhguru's video. Just Sadhguru's video, I was just seeing, tears were rolling in my eyes. Just simply.
Wow.
No reason. It just tears were rolling continuously. The first reaction was, what? Till then I was crying for my girl. That was the tears which I could clearly make out that's because of depression. But these tears were not because of depression. It was, the tears were so, even when I'm telling, the goosebumps are coming within me, that something tremendous thing is happening in me, which is causing these tears. Only thing which I could relate till then was I did for yogasana regularly, right? That was the only change I made in my life. I got a clear understanding, logical understanding that only because of this thing only these tears were coming.
Okay.
The beautiful experience of bliss. I mean, at that time I didn't even know what bliss was. Just tears were rolling. I didn't want to leave that. So from that's how my Isha journey has started.
This time you were treating COVID patients also.
Yeah.
So didn't you find it challenging to do your yogasanas every day?
It was challenging. It was so challenging. Even till now, it's a challenge for me to do my asanas or my sadhana every day. But only thing I stick on to myself is your sadhana is for today. You just give that commitment, rest everything will happen.
So I have an important question to ask here.
Sure, Akka.
How important is mental health compared to physical health?
Very good question. There should be no comparison between mental and physical health. Mental health is the most important when compared to anything else. Physical health is the least thing which I'm worried about.
Okay.
Mental health is a tremendous thing which you have to worry about in this generation, in this future, in these times.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you an example, because I have faced this situation. That was the day where I was dealing a case in emergency. That was the day when RRR got Oscars. Suddenly the doors banged. Some wheelchair was coming, emergency, we don't know when the case come, right? We will be ready. A case came in the wheelchair. It was a 12-year-old kid. I thought some fever or some emergency leading to that, and she just came into the first bed and she was not conscious. I could see her mom actually, she was crying so badly. And when we come and see what happened to that girl, when I saw her, only thing I saw was the body was fine. There was no marks or no vomitings or no fever, nothing like that, no seizures or fits like that. Only thing I could see was a scar over her neck. When we take history and when we analyze, it was a suicide case. 12-year-old girl attempting a suicide, and by that time when we saw, she was dead. We declared dead. The next thing which I got in my mind was, what made a 12-year-old kid attempting a suicide?
Oh shit.
The others were saying exam fail, whatever. I didn't believe and I don't want that stuff. What made a 12-year-old girl who has not seen life, who has not seen anything in her life, attempted such a big thing like attempting suicide, and we couldn't save her. And that's how the mental health is. That's where we are. Sadhguru also says that by 2055, I'm not exact with the numbers, 30 or 40% will attempt suicide. That becomes natural, it seems. That's how the mental health is. Because if you store everything with mind, if you store everything with information which you do not have an experience or living reality, if you just store, that thing burdens you so much, and there is no way that you live. Suicide is just a natural thing.
How to deal with this situation? I mean, among the young people, among the young kids, the generation to come.
I'm not expert in mental health, but as far as I know, what I can say is, especially people, children from 12 up to 12 years of age, they have to explore life. They should not watch the mobile phone. Mobile phone is the one which is the main cause for causing this mental health, is what I feel. Because too much of information. Sadhguru says, right, people have seen galaxies and universes in their phone. You ask anything, they'll just show everything in the phone, but they don't know a damn thing about it. They just their life becomes so bored. He says, when we were kids, 5th, 6th or 1st class, we were bubbly, jumping and so on. Now if you see children in bus, bored. They're just so bored. We haven't known what a bore is at that age.
Agree.
Just because of this lifestyle, just because of this too much of information entering into people's mind, they are just because they have seen everything in their life. But the real life they haven't, they was not exposed. The intelligence, the intrinsic intelligence, which the real thing is, they don't know what that is. All they know is memory, information, phone. That's the thing where we have to break the chain. We have to expose more our children into physical activity. See, it's like physical, mental, emotional energy, right? More you have to exert your body, and you have to move your body in such a way that you just have to dive into it. Just play, run, gym, or climb mountain, whatever it is. Emotionally, you just have to start developing some interest towards arts, like any music, dance, where you invest your emotion and just explore and you just experience what that is. Naturally the mind part will recede. These things we just have to concentrate in children, but that's not how the world is working, the competitive world. You study more, I study more, cracking IIT, becoming doctors, finally suicides. That's what's happening. So that's what the Sadhguru's vision is right now, where he is launching the conscious planet, and what he's doing is amazing.
I think all the viewers and listeners should know what conscious planet is. Sadhguru has talked about it during Mahashivratri also. In recent programs also he has talked about conscious planet, and that's what we should all think about.
I have no plans. I just decided, and I'm dedicating my life for that in future. Maybe 2 years from now, it's complete.
Completely for Sadhguru.
Yeah, it's completely for now. Also, it's completely for Sadhguru. That time it will be no will of my own. It's just
Sadhguru.
It's grace.
After your yogasanas, what did you do?
After Yogasana, Surya Kriya, I felt like there is something in this which made me experience this. I want more of this experience, After, as soon as I had finished my Yogasana, I did Surya Kriya, Angamardana. Not doing that, doing it every day. I incorporated in such a way that I practice them every day till now. And I learned Yogasana, Surya Kriya, Angamardana. I got initiated into Shambhavi in 2020 online Sadhguru initiation. After that Shakti Chalana practiced regularly. After that BSP, Samyama, Devi Yantra, and Shivanga Sadhana, you name it, everything.
No program you left. You wanted to be blissed out completely.
And I even now I stick to my sadhana every day.
Doctors must watch this. A doctor can be so, determined towards doing his sadhana.
I'm not saying that you believe what I say. You try this, you do it regularly for a period of time. If you see change in yourself, you will definitely do it. If you don't see any change, you just leave it.
This change reminded me something. So I want to share my experience with you here, and I want your opinion on this. I started doing Shambhavi. I also got initiated online. After I started doing my Shambhavi regularly, within 3 to 4 months, I saw a peculiar change in myself. So in my right foot, my second toe, the nail of that second toe was not well formed rather. And I inherited it from my father.
Without any nail?
Yeah, kind of a very little and malformed nail. It was not a proper nail, so I always used to get irritated because of that, because it used to spoil my look. So I was like, how should I apply nail paint? This nail is like this and that. So I was very conscious about it. So one day what happened, between 3 to 4 months of practicing Shambhavi, I was just about to start my Shambhavi, and I was about to sit cross-legged when I observed that nail, and I observed that the appearance of that nail changed actually, and it started growing. It was like 1/4. The nail was 1/4 and it was not properly formed, and then it started forming and it started growing, and the structure changed. So which clearly showed that something in my DNA changed. Something that I inherited from my father changed within 3 to 4 months of practicing Shambhavi. Now what is your take on this? Can Shambhavi influence your genetics, or can it improve your genetic karma, or how is it related?
Yes, definitely it can, and it has got tremendous possibility of Shambhavi, especially the initiations, especially the programs where the initiation is being done. All the yogasana, Surya Kriya is a Hatha Yoga part, and the initiation where you deal with the energy, Kriya or whatever, where you internalize the thing, where the initiation parts are there. That thing has a potential to change the genetics. That even there is an study in Oxford University. Even people, when they get initiated into brahmacharya, there are instances that where the facial features change immediately, right?
Yeah.
So what Sadhguru is doing, see, these are all amazing things which defies logic. Only thing, people have to experience this. Once they experience it, leave genetics hell about the enlightenment. I'm telling you, it's just transforming. Yeah, definitely it changes genetics.
At this point of time where you have done all of the courses of Isha, like Samyama and everything, Shivanga Spurti and everything, where do you find yourself and what transformation you have seen in yourself?
The transformation is so tremendous that this Sreekar is not that Sreekar which he was before. I'm telling you, there are many things. Every second of my life has become so beautiful and so blissed out. If I just close my eyes, there is no day in my life without tears in my life. And there is no day in my life that goes without tears of bliss. Even today, every day, not a day goes by. It's just because of sadhana, and I have become so calm, and I knew how to deal things. And I'm telling you, 2 years where I was so arrogant, I was so mischievous, and I was lazy. I was that kind of person before sadhana and all. My father told me this. That change they have seen me.
Okay.
What they told me was like, he was not even shouting. For small things, I used to suddenly I just shout, "Arey, this thing is not going properly." I think in 2 years, I haven't spoke a single word. I didn't have that kind of incident till now. That was the miracle that I can say that I have seen in myself. Not a moment of anger, not a moment of hatred. Whatever thing happens, I know how to remain balanced, because Sadhguru entered my breath and he has become a living part of my life, and that's how I experience him. Because from now, this is not Sreekar actually. This is just Sadhguru flowing through me.
What are your plans in the future?
Future plans, till BSP, actually till BSP, the programs which I did, I was like, I just have to, there is something tremendous science, but I was still into my passions, into my dreams. I have to build a career, I have to build so much. That was my thing. But BSP and Samyama, they just changed my life completely. And my passion is like to live for Sadhguru till my last breath. He said like, right, Coca-Cola has went into every village. Yoga must go into every village. Every human being should know the bliss. Every person should experience this. Not every person should know something beyond. All the mental issues, all the physical issues, all the emotional things which people go through, they suffer so badly. Being human, you should not suffer them. You should experience bliss. You should know what exactly the life is. So that thing comes only with yoga. Not all yogas. As far as I know, it's only Isha Hatha Yoga, because that's the most authentic thing which I have seen till now. So my plan is for now is like applying my medical part and the yoga part. I wanted to become Hatha Yoga teacher. I want to pursue in my coming future, and I also want to enter into Purnang. I just want to dedicate my life, that 34 years till that, into Sadhguru. So I just want to mix this Hatha Yoga and the medical science. I just have to show. I just want people to experience this thing through me. See, I'm telling you, right? People will listen only when they are vulnerable. When me dealing with emergencies, my field is completely an emergency thing. Cardiology is like people have seen death. People experience death. So when they have experienced death and they really do not want that experience again, that was the most vulnerable point of their life, and they come to us. So I have to become a mediator, first treating that emergency part and saving his life, and he builds an enormous trust in me. So at that point, I want to initiate this Sadhguru, Isha, and slowly I have to make, I don't want to brainwash him. I just don't want to, I'm just waiting for that vulnerable moment so that he flows through him, and he experiences once a person experiences that drop, not Shiva can stop him, no one can stop him, because once he becomes willing, everything will fall in place. He says, right, once the source of creation fires up, even the heaven and hell will work for you. They have to work for you, they will work for you. So my thing is, I want to introduce Sadhguru and Isha and Sad programs to people in such a way that it just transforms their lives. I'm just waiting for that vulnerable moment.
Wow, that was wonderful to know that. What change happened in your perspective in dealing with your patients after you started doing your sadhana?
See, till the COVID part, which I was before into Isha part, right? I was so happy because my mentality is like, I'm so happy when people are around me are happy. That's how I was so blissed out. I was so happy that people were getting treated with the medication and all. But I was treating the physical part only. I was just treating that physical because that's the only thing which I know. And I was happy that they got cured. That's the only thing. Which I have my experience before into sadhana and all that. Once I started doing the sadhana, right now, today, I don't know, it's minimum for me, it's just minimal sadhana. With my sadhana, right now, I'm just treating the same person. I have the knowledge, only the physical part. But if right now, if I just see the patient, tears come, I'll just experience their pain. I don't know this is a magical thing for you or not. For me, if I just see a person, not even a person or a patient, if I just see a beggar on the street, if I just see a person on the street, just tears roll down in my eyes that I experience that pain. And the intention that the next thought in my mind, which comes in my mind is, they should not experience pain. They should not experience that hardships that they are going through. They have to know this experience of being human. They have to know the tremendous possibilities of how being human itself is a blessing, and that's the most beautiful thing that any person can get. So me seeing a person has completely changed because I see in my experience, everyone is Sadhguru, even plant, animal, animate, inanimate. I'm applying it, but I'm not fully experiencing that. But till now, if I just see a person comes in pain, tears roll down in my eyes actually. I just experience their pain. So once you start experiencing the pain, your intention, no matter what, you wanted to do the best for him. You'll do the best of your maximum thing. Of the best you can. That's the thing which I'm doing right now.
Okay, with this, it's time for the rapid fire round. We'll be asking you a few questions and we'll see how rapidly you answer.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah. First question. What is the most unconventional thing about Isha?
Life in its totality, and how we what all things which we experience is not life actually. To experience life, you have to experience the programs which Isha is offering.
Sadhguru has interacted with many doctors. Which conversation did you like the most and why?
There was one conversation with Dr. Bala Subramaniam. I guess he's a neurologist in works for Sadhguru Consciousness Society in Texas. I guess I'm not exactly the place. And in that speech, he mentioned about how these initiations and how the genetic influences happen and how these things are evidence based. They are making it into evidence based, so that high people or the high professionals, they start accepting this as a science rather than some magic, because this itself is a tremendous science.
If the girl you mentioned about comes back in your life, what would you do?
If she comes back, whether I'll accept her or not is secondary. To accept her, there are many things, because my life has completely changed, and I cannot compromise this thing for the goals which I had previously. If she understands them or not, I really don't even think about that part actually. But the thing which I got now, I will not compromise this thing on anything in my life, because I think in my experience, where I'm standing today, the experience which I'm facing it every day, I think this has come after a lifetime of struggle. That has not come so easily, not even for me, for everyone, for anyone who experiences Sadhguru or experiences Isha. And as in 3 days he says that thing, right? If you want to change your attitude, you'll get this job. He says, after a lot of difficulty, I got this attitude. I really don't want to compromise this thing on anything in my life. The answer is the same.
If one of your patients asks you if yoga is better or medicine, what would you say?
Both. Initially, if a person comes to you, he comes with a disease. So to address that disease immediately or temporarily, the medicine works. Even medicine itself is a tremendous science. It has got its, see, if medicine is not a science, that millions of people will not come for in the first instance, because as this thing is working, the people are coming. So if a patient comes, but the medicine has got its flaws, because it treats only the physical part, it cannot treat the genetic part. It can treat, there are some medicines, rare things which treat at the genetic part, not regularly. They just treat only the superficial part, or it goes only till the level of molecule, or to be frank, only at the place of mitochondria or the subdivisions. But this yoga works at the genetic, atomic, subatomic, at the genetic level. It just changes. But if a patient comes, first medicine, then yoga.
How would you explain Isha Kriya to a doctor who has never heard about it?
See, basically, to introduce any Isha program, not a doctor to anyone. Everyone is human being. So the first thing they get into their mind is, why should I do this? Okay. So first we have to address that. So first we have to say that, we have to convey to him or to any person that at least dedicate some part of your life, at least 15 minutes a day, without any expectations. Do it casually, do it like a hobby, or do it just like a play. Don't expect anything, just do it casually. That's how we have to introduce them. Or if a person has had many difficulties in their life, I mean, if he has become most vulnerable, at that time we can introduce these things very easily. Rather than people who are, because 90% of people will listen only when they get beaten with life.
Would you choose a doctor or a meditator as your partner?
Right now, meditator first, because see, partner itself is like understanding your journey. My journey is completely into spiritual thing. She may or may not be a doctor. I really don't care, but I really don't know whether I'll marry or not, because it's not. See, I'm not telling. See, my life is not in my hands right now. Sadhguru says yoga, you have to take life in your hands and destiny in your hands. I took before BSP. After BSP, I just left it for Sadhguru. Now it's not real. It's not there in my hands. I'll just go however he flows.
Such a beautiful answer. Okay. Being a doctor, what is the weirdest comment you have received for following yoga and meditation?
Trash.
Yoga is a trash. Oh God. Okay. There is a quote of Sadhguru. Don't hand over your health to a doctor. Your health is your responsibility.
Yeah.
What is your take on this?
Definitely your health is your responsibility. Your life is in your making. But for an ignorant person, you cannot say these things. Okay. He comes with a grief, or if he comes with a pain. Even Sadhguru is offering many medical facilities, even free camps that are going in Coimbatore. Why? Because if a person is hungry, you have to feed him. Only then you can talk about yoga.
Correct.
If a person comes with emergency, with fracture, you don't ask him to do yoga. First, we have to address that issue. Once you treat them, then he relieves out of that pain. Then you introduce yoga.
You are a doctor, so doctors think logically. Okay. Now, how do you think? What do you think? I mean, is it possible to articulate yoga in a way that it is something logical, or is it something beyond words that can't be explained to somebody?
See, first thing is what we have learned till now, the medical science, the knowledge, the career, I mean, the place where the medical science is standing today is not even a speck or a microspeck of this existence. I'm telling you. We think we treat all, but there are and innumerable things which we itself don't know. There are so many flaws in the medicine itself. So, but coming to yoga and meditation and all, it's a tremendous science. Yoga is not a myth. It's not illogical or a logic, whatever you say. There is a complete logical thing to it, which cannot be articulated with this, with the mind actually. It cannot be articulated with the logic of this realm. So, yoga itself is a tremendous science and it has to be explored. See, every human being should experience life and they should not experience the tears of depression. Right now, many people experience their life as a troublesome. No, people have to experience life in its totality so that the tears, their perspective of tears should change. They are not for, their tears are made not to experience depression, they are made to experience bliss. If you keep on thinking logic, the mind thing, only that logic shit runs. You have to go beyond to experience this life.
Okay, with this thing, it's time to wrap up. With this podcast with Anna, I got to know about the perspective of a doctor regarding spirituality, and I hope this podcast will inspire a lot of doctors and non-meditators. If you like this podcast, please hit the like button, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in next video. Namaskaram. Namaskaram, Anna.
Namaskaram,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This whole medical system evolved from the need to handle infectious diseases, contagious diseases which were taking a huge toll on populations in those times. But today we have come to a place where people are on self-help. That is, they manufacture their own diseases, they don't wait for any infection to happen to them because now they're on self-help. They need another system of medicine, another way to approach it completely, which is the shift we are struggling to make right now. If you consider human well-being as a composite subject and an approach, then you would consider what makes a human being complete and approach all of them together. That is the best way to do it. It is possible that hospitals can have a meditation center going within them, and it is possible meditation centers already generally have, but we can make sure that there's a little bit of health center out there. We can start having a little bit of a skirmish right now. Right now they're not ready for total union because in both the sides, there are too many opinions about each other. Largely, people are not looking at the whole health as such. They are trying to impart what they have studied or what they have grasped. It doesn't matter whether it addresses the whole humanity or the whole human being or not. So, that attitudinal change is not going to happen just like that. Till a day comes when medical education includes all these things, which may make it even longer than the way it is right now. And I would like to see a day when doctors, before they touch another patient, first fix themselves internally before they touch somebody else.